fast food in general is becoming as expensive as some sit-down restaurants, if not more expensive. It's crazy to me because like dining out is a luxury in the US. It's a special thing. And now that's starting to include fast food. The option that's supposed to be economical is eating at home. But when you go to a lot of other countries, especially Asian countries, so like my time in Korea was very is filled with going out to eat because the culture there is people often go out to eat just as much, if not more, than they eat at home. They eat like breakfast at home, and then dinner is like eaten out all the time if you live in a city. And it's priced so that it's cost effective. The restaurants go for volume of people coming through for eating regular dinner instead of going for, being highly priced. It's just very accessible. And because of this, everyone's used to dining out all the time. They always do that. And that's just normal. Restaurants are just where you go to eat most of your meals, honestly. And yeah, that's just normalized. And I just like that more. I understand the US not having that in areas that are suburbs and more rural. That's not really the most sustainable. I get it. But in cities, I don't know. If you live in like a shit neighborhood, quote unquote, where rent is low, all that, they tend to have more restaurants that are like that, because it's run by like one or two people. They don't really have wait staff. It's just like you get your food and sit down. Maybe they'll bring something out to you. But it's usually like the cook themselves making it and then throwing it at you. Or they put it on the counter and they're like, come grab it, and whatever. And I think kind of enables them to do that, to be well priced. Same was true of the Romans, interestingly. It's a format that I think makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I just prefer that. They're so business oriented, so for the average salaryman, it makes sense to eat out. Yeah, but I mean, so something I do is I go out and get food often, where I order something in, whether it's delivery or more so, like I go out and physically walk there, get the thing, bring it home, eat it. I prefer doing that because it saves me time. I'm not spending time cooking that thing. I'm not spending time cleaning. If I wanted to cook at home all the time and I wanted to not spend a lot of time doing it, I'd start whittling down the number of unique things that I eat, because I'd have, like way fewer options, because I'd be like, oh, I only want to cook shit that takes 15 minutes. I don't want to spend longer than that because I don't have time, whatever, right? So I'd end up not having much variety in my diet at all. So at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? It's better for me to go out and get food because at least the food variety exists. I don't have to clean any of this. I get that time back. So that's good. At the end of the day, it ends up being like healthier for me overall. Also, it makes me go outside and walk, which is good. It's a good excuse. But, it's a little expensive compared to eating at home. That being said, depending on where you live, the cost effectiveness makes more sense. So for me personally, it's not that much more expensive than if I went out and got ingredients and tried to cook at home all the time. It's not really that different. So for me, it's not so bad. But, if more people chose to do that, I wonder if everyone just would keep their prices as they are, or like could that culture ever develop in the US is what I'm posing here, right? Similar to Asian countries where everyone just in cities eats out all the time, like 50 to 75% of their late meals, maybe even more. But I want to say it probably wouldn't, because things are so ingrained. I don't know. No. Slow cooker's a lifesaver for time. Yeah, but then you still have to clean the slow cooker, right? And that doesn't take a ton of time, but I don't like it. Also, you can only make just so many things in a slow cooker, so it's like, it's not increasing the variety that much. So I don't like it. It's not a solution for me. It helps, but it's not, it's not enough. So as a single person living alone, it's hard for me to justify cooking for myself. That's the other problem. I've complained about this before too, but the way the US's grocery stores are set up is that it's very hard to have a good variety. Let's say you're always cooking for yourself, right? You're always going out buying food, bringing it home, cooking it. Doing that and being a single person living at home and getting in enough food variety is really fucking expensive when you're buying all these individual things instead of bulk packaged things. Now, you can make it cost effective if you want to eat the same shit all the time and you want to meal prep the same thing for a week and you're eating the same 2 meals back to back, day A, day B, right? until you're out of it. You can make it work for cost, but right, you end up eating the same thing over and over, and I just hate that. I hate that. It's not good. If you're trying to be like really healthy, you should be trying to go for variety, and it's just not good. It's just not good. Yeah, exactly what Kay said, right? You end up like wasting stuff because you're not finishing it. So the waste is a loss as far as costs go right there. And then you don't have the variety, like I said. You end up buying a huge package of a thing. A lot of the time you end up having to freeze stuff, and then, it makes it, depending on what it is, it's harder for it to work with, or it's not as good. So I don't know. It's just a lot of this stuff where I'm like, if you're alone, it's a lot better to just go out and eat all the time. Or maybe not go out and eat, but order food counter service and then bring it home so you're not paying like tip. Because man, if you're sitting down, you have to tip a waiter every time. That's where it gets crazy. No thanks. But yeah, I don't know. It's possible to do, but trying to get big variety in, you end up spending a lot of time on all of it. It just don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. So that's why salad mix is a good deal. Right, like it's overpriced, but then you don't end up wasting it if you're a singular person. So kind of makes sense, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I'd rather just go to restaurants, order things, grab it from counter service kind of thing, and go.